Today it's a very special webinar for us because we're going to share with you about our work in the field of development. And like you know, first of all, I did introduce myself. My name is Noah Nitzan. I'm an occupational therapist in my background, and I'm the director of the Technology Center at Bet Issie Shapiro in Israel. With me here, my colleague Dana. She's here and she's doing the second part of the presentation. She's also an occupational therapist, and we work together in the Technology Center. And we are working in the field. We have many years of experience in the field in general as OTs and specifically with technology, but we also work with developers. And this is something that we want to talk about in the beginning of this lecture, how we work together with developers. And then we will introduce you the apps that we've developed because we really hope that you're going, also you can use them and join them. So we're going to talk about from clinical challenge to digital solution, introduction to IssieApps for communication, education, and play. Few words about Bet Issie Shapiro. Bet Issie Shapiro is one of the leading organizations in Israel in the field of disabilities, with 4 decades of experience with a wide range of disabilities and across multiple cultures. We're impacting each year about 500,000 people. We globally recognize as an innovator in the development of services for people with disability, and we have special consultant status at the UN. Now, at Bet Issie Shapiro, there are few units, many units actually, including research and training institute and more. But what is most relevant to this lecture when we're talking about the apps that we've developed from the field is that we have educational framework. So we have 2 early intervention centers for very young children. It could be a few months old until 3 years old. It could be very severe disability, but also more light disabilities. And we have special education school, age 6 to 12, for children with complex disability, motor and intellectual disability. Our work is in very, very multidisciplinary approach. We work together, the OT, the physiotherapy, the speech therapy, the teachers, we work very close together. We are very family-centered place. We work together with the families a lot, and we work according to the ICF model, and we really emphasize participation, and this is what we have in front of our eyes all the time. I just forgot to mention here that we are working our educational framework. It's for Hebrew and Arabic speakers, and you'll see later that we do for both languages. In our technology center, we are focusing on implementation, which is very important, not just to know what technology out there, more important is to know how to use it right. Many times technology stay there on the shelf. Share our knowledge, like what we are doing here. And we have webinars, courses, blog, and more, and also in development. And I'm going to talk about it now. So when we talk about what we are doing in the field of development, we're working with developers, with designers. This is one of our main goals. We want to find solutions to challenges from the field for people of various ages and abilities. We want to find solutions that at the end, as much people can use. So it could be sometimes even for people without disability. We are very inclusive, design oriented. And in general, we want to raise the awareness for inclusive design and accessible solutions. And I can say it's really unique collaboration between therapists and special educators from the field with developers. And we find that it's a win-win. And it's important for us because the impact, it's in much higher level. It's not just with the children that we work with, which is very, very important. We always think wider, how we can have much wider impact. So, for example, if we're developing an app, it could be an app not just for our children, also even out of the country and in other ages. And technology is, like we see, we have great solutions, but at the end, what we use a lot is the mainstream solution. It could be the iPad, the iPhone, or other tablet. That's why we're really focusing on apps. It's not just what we're doing. We work also with other technology, but a lot of work is about apps that we are going to show you today, because this is at the end what people use most, and the easy thing for them to use. And when I'm talking collaboration, here are a few companies that we work with, and it could be that we contact a company that we like the product and we just ask for some adaptation in their product. Sometimes they contact us for consultation. It could be a startup at the beginning or a company. And sometimes we really work together and raise the awareness of inclusive design. They do some adaptation. We are doing things together, like with SAP, the apps that we are developing. So what we have, the apps that we're going to show you, actually we developed with SAP Labs in Israel. It's a very big international high-tech company, German company. And they're in Israel, they're really close to us in Ra'anana. And today we really feel that it's very special that we work really together like one team, and we are speech therapists and OTs together with engineers and developers and designers, and it's really fun. Like sometimes we go there, they come here, and we really feel like a one team after a few years of working together. And it all began in 2015. There was a hackathon in SAP, and they invited us to come with a challenge about for people with disabilities. And actually, those days we were a little tired already for all those hackathons, because usually when you're going to a hackathon, you don't really have a product at the end after 2 or 3 days. But it was different with them because they did continue the process of developing even after they finished with the hackathon. It just, sometimes it's just about the people. They really like it, and so this is how we started. It was like, now it's 6 years ago. And since then, we have 5 apps that we developed with SAP, which we're going to show you now. And we're really proud to have Issie brand. For us, again, as an organization for people with disability, we have a brand of apps, and they're really great, and many people use them in Israel and also out of Israel. And how we work, we identified a clinical challenge. Sometimes we ask for the people that work here in the field if they feel there is a challenge, or sometimes they just contact us. If we have a challenge in the field with some of our students, we search for existing solution. And then we try it, and sometimes we need to do some adaptation. But if there is no solution, we want to develop it. So as therapists, we are not developers. We don't have developers in-house. So we really need to know a few things. When we work with developers, we have to introduce them the field of disability. Most of them doesn't know anything about disability unless they know someone with disability in their life. So we really need, because they have many basic questions. And we understood that the best way is them to see, really to see. So sometimes they come here, or we share with them videos of our children using, it depends on the app, but it's very important for them to really understand the need. But we need also to understand their needs. So we know today that when we're working with developers, they need app flow diagram, and we need to really write it very in the order, the desired features that we need in the app, and also to have prioritized, which is sometimes hard because we want many things, but we need to decide what to begin with, for the first version at least. And what is very interesting is to see their perspective. So here in the picture, you see one of the engineer, the developer, Oriel, which we work a lot with him. And here in the picture, he presented EasyBoard, one of our app, in a conference in Israel. And he told us that he learned a lot. He learned a lot about inclusive design, about accessibility. Although he already knows a few things about accessibility, it was different for him. And he had to learn and he have new skills today, because in SAP, they're not developing apps. But now he knows how to develop an app, he knows how to use iOS, and in general, all the products of Apple. So he told me that it's really great for him that he learned so much from this process. And here are a few testimonials from their people there, and we really feel that there is a social impact. For example, you can see here in the yellow note that Ido said that he's thankful for the opportunity to donate my developer skills for helping others. And this is very important because sometimes, at least here in Israel, companies, like high-tech companies, want to volunteer, and they can do many things. But we find out that the best thing for them is to do something with their knowledge, with their skills. They are developers, so let's do something with those skills and not other things. And like I said, it's important for us to share knowledge and to spread the news. This picture was from Orlando, actually, in 2016. Dana and I were at the ATIA conference, and then like they said, okay, now there is a big session, like 300 people. Each one can present for 3 minutes an app that you like to use. And EasyBoard it was like really a few days after we started to use EasyBoard, and I was like standing there and tell everybody about EasyBoard, and people were like really excited about it, and that was great. It was the first time that we start sharing our apps. And now I'm going to share with you our apps. So we have 6 apps. 5 of them we really developed with SAP, and the other 2, one is here and one is coming soon, the Songo, is with Hilma, which is a very special organization in Israel. And I will start with the EasyBoard. Now, most of the apps you can use also, they're in English. So I put here like a picture of our blog. At the end, I can put in the chat or something, send you the link to those posts, because we wrote instruction for each app, how to use it. So let's start with the EasyBoard. It was our first app. And EasyBoard is a virtual keyboard for iDevices that allow for customization of visual features. Okay, so you can see here in the picture, this is the way it looks like. And the need was that we started to use an iPad a few years ago, and we realized that the virtual keyboard of the iPad is very gray with no contrast, and it's sometimes hard to find the letter for children and adults with disability, and maybe not with disability. And we remember that we used to use those physical keyboard with the stickers, and it's really it can be very helpful for when you're typing, to learn how to type, to find for motor learning and for cues. And this is what we had on our mind. So this is the EasyBoard. It's you can use it in any app. After you start using, you download it, you can use it in your email, notes, pages, whatever you want. So it's just another keyboard on your iPad or iPhone. And it's in 3 languages, Hebrew, Arabic, and English. You can use 2 languages at the same time. In Hebrew and Arabic, we have diacritics, which is like marks, little signs that it's in Hebrew. You really need to use it at the beginning in 1st and 2nd grade, because we don't have in Hebrew vowels. So if you want to know the sound of the letter, so you really need, it could be a point, it could be a little line. So you can use it, and it's very unique because there are many keyboards that they don't have those signs. And you can choose the letter order, if it's a QWERTY, the regular one, or ABC. And you can choose, you could be all of the same color. You can choose the color, or you can set the color by rows or by areas. So it could be rows or area 2 or 3 areas, which is also very helpful for example, to remember that the orange side, it's my right, left, so a right hand, so the K, it's under, to remember where to put each hand and to remember the color of each letter. And this is really, really cool and useful feature. You can highlight specific letters, like you can see in the left picture, for example, the vowels. And you can also decide which letters should appear. And this is very helpful at the beginning of the process for people to start to type if it's too many letters. Sometimes it's too many letters at the beginning. And we can see here in our school, we use it a lot with our children. And you can see that the letters stay at the same place, the original place. So you can see a few pictures from our school. And like I said, we use a lot the feature of using just choosing just few letters. And our students, some of them has really complex intellectual disability, and it's really amazing to see that they really learn to type. Sometimes they stay with this, but at least they can type their name, which is so important for the self-esteem, for independence, and sometimes they continue after. And I also heard from the teacher that they use it just for them to learn letters, because you can just isolate few letters, and today we're just learning about ABC and just put it there and do something. So it's very, very useful. I'm going to show you a short video of one of our students. We said writing because she cannot write. And I can say in general, the typing is so important for everyone because we are typing so many times a day. And for people with disability, it's something even more important because many of them cannot write. So that's why we put so much effort for teaching them how to type. Because we're talking about participation. So here is Aviv, one of our students, typing her name for the first time with EasyBoard.
תתחילו מההתחלה.
אפי.
כן, אז איך זה מתחיל? איפה זה במקלדת?
הנה.
יופי. מה בא עכשיו?
אפי.
עכשיו מה? נכון. מה זה האות הקטנה הזאתי? תחפשי אותה. יופי. ואיך מסיימים? מה בסוף? תסתכלי במילה. מה בסוף? איפה הבט? נכון! כל הכבוד! ובסוף את צריכה את זה. אני לא מאמינה!
Yeah, so here we use it inside TinyTap. It's another app for practicing typing. And like you say, it was very successful. How you use EasyBoard. So this is something very important because people sometimes don't know. But after you download the app from the App Store, and it's in every keyboard app, it's like this, not just in EasyBoard, you have to go to the setting of their iPad. And like it's here in the presentation, you go to General to Keyboard and inside Keyboard to Keyboards. And you have to press on Add New Keyboard and then to select EasyBoard. And just then you can start use it. And after you do this stage, actually it's just when you press the globe button, like you switch between languages or emoji, EasyBoard will be one of the keyboards there. And if you don't know, you can also do a long press on the globe, and then there is the list of all your keyboard. I'm going to show you a short video of how the settings of the EasyBoard looks like. First of all, what you're going to see now, it's just if you want to change and to do this, you're going to want to go to the setting of the EasyBoard. You don't have to go to the EasyBoard app when you're using it. It's just one of your keyboard. But if you want to change the way the keyboards look like, you have to go to the app itself after you download it. And you can see here in the settings that you have like a few things that you can do. Like I said about the languages, you can choose which language, for example, English. And you can choose if it will be standard or like QWERTY order ABC. And here I'm going to show you how it looks like when I'm changing the color. For example, very colorful keyboard. Sometimes it's nice to do it with the children themselves, to let them choose the way they want it to look like. So it shows the background, the key color, the text color, and then show keyboard. You can see here inside. So it's going to look like this, very colorful. And even you can choose other additional keys, like for example, want to the space look different. So this is an example. I'm the whole keyboard, how I'm choosing the colors, and then I can do reset. And I want to show you the sections and the rows, how you do sections and rows. So for example, if I'm going to the rows, then I can choose the light blue for the upper and the text also, like black, the middle row, just left it in yellow, and the lower would be green, and then show keyboard, and it looks like this. So you see, it's very, very easy. If I want to show you how the sections look like, so I choose the section, and then it's like you see, it's the right, the middle, and the left. Or if I don't want the middle, and then I have just two sections. So this is how you customize it, and you reset again. And now I'm going to show you how you do the visible keys, which is, I think, maybe the most important thing. So you go to visible keys and then you choose which letters you want to appear. For example, the letters of the word smile, and then it looks like this. And I would like to show you the highlighted keys. So I'll do reset again. So if I want just to highlight few keys, I choose those. For example, the vowels like A, E, U, I, and O. And then I have to choose which color I want them to be. So keys color could be, it was hard for me to choose, the pink, and then it looks like this. Now, at the end, you have the templates. So if I go to templates, there are 3 predefined keyboards that already exist. But if I want to save what I just did, for example, the vowels, I can save it. So I give it a name for this keyboard. And then I can always go back and not to make it from the beginning again. And it's very useful when I'm working with children. I can have like keyboard for each child and give it a name. So that's it. I'm doing save. Now I'm working on the vowels keyboard. And when I close it and go, for example, for pages, you can see that this is the keyboard that I'm going to have. And that's it. You can see when you press, and when you press in the globe, you can switch. I just want to add about the Issie board that we use it a lot here because it's so useful for students. But we know that in Israel, many places use it, and there's also in courses under the Ministry of Education, they teach it. It's not even us anymore teaching it, which is so great for us that other people teach this app how to use it because it's so useful. So we know it's very useful here in Israel. We know that people also use it in Arabic and English. We hope more people use it out of Israel also. So you're very welcome to use it. All our apps are free, and we're very happy to hear feedback. And now we're moving to Issiesign, and I will give Dana to talk about it.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about Issiesign, which is the next app that we created. And Issiesign is an app for learning how to sign basic vocabulary. Currently, it's only available in Hebrew. But we are in the process of creating an Arabic version, and we would obviously love to have an English version as well, but it's not, we don't have an English version yet. But I am going to explain to you and show you what it's all about, because it has some very unique features that we haven't found in any other apps that teach sign language. So first of all, it is an app that allows us to explore and learn basic Hebrew signs based on Israeli Sign Language. And it was created based on needs that were identified working in our early intervention program. So it was important that in the design that it can actually also be used independently by young children. It can be used by all ages, but it can also be used by young children, which is very important. Currently, there are hundreds of words. They're divided into language categories. And like I said, we're soon to release an Arabic version, but we're also releasing an open version, which means that all the template and the platform will be available, and you can upload your own content. So that will be useful for English speakers as well. So some of those unique features, it was initially designed for initial stages of language development, which means every sign is the one-word sign is also signed with a two-word utterance, so that they're not learning just the signs in isolation, but they learn them together with another word, so a simple sentence or an utterance. The features were designed, like the design features were designed to address the motor and cognitive abilities of young children so that they're able to navigate through the app on their own. And each video includes a combination of spoken word, the written word, the sign, of course, and also a symbol, so that the information is presented to the child or to the user in a variety of ways, which I think is very unique, and also makes the app, it's not just for children with hearing impairments, it's also for children with other kinds of communication impairments. The app has a search feature, so it's easy to find the some sign that you're looking for, and you can customize it with personal content. This is just a picture of the team that was behind creating the app and the videos. And the reason that we thought it was important to share is to really demonstrate how involved the creation of this app was. This team is just the team for the videos. So we had to hire professional videographers and recording space and professional interpreters. It was a lot of, it was a very involved process. So just something about the effort and the quality that goes into the apps that we're developing. What's really great about it, and because of that design that we talked about, is that it's easy for kids to just take the app and explore and learn on their own. So it's not just a teaching tool, it's not just a therapeutic tool, but it's really playful. They are able to go in, and in the pictures that are on the screen, it's sort of like a little storyboard, and there are two little boys playing with the app, and one of the little boys is looking for something, and he picks something, and they watch the video together. And then in the third picture, it's the other little boy that's signing the sign that they saw. So there's this really nice playful interaction, and because it's designed that way, they can explore it themselves. Our therapists love to use it in therapy, and it's really useful. And you can see here in the video. He's saying my grandmother. And he's learning to use the app himself. To play. To play together. Oh, you want to play with the house. So right away, he was using the sign, he copied her and right away incorporated it into their dynamic, which is really special. But we use the app also not just in that context, but to teach all our students gestures, because it's an added method of communication. So we often have in our classrooms, in the picture on the left, that's a board up on the wall in our classroom, and it's called Gesture of the Week. So every week the speech therapists pick a couple of gestures that are either relevant to the holidays that are happening or whatever it is they're going on in the school that day or that week, and gestures that all the students learn, and they go over them in class. And then the students can learn them together. So here's just a quick video so that you can see how the app works. And again, in the open version, all of this will be available, and you can put in your own categories. So we click on a category, and then a category opens their various words.
Shalom.
And here
Shalom
she's
לכם.
signing, hello, hello to you. So that you can see that the video has all of those channels, the spoken word, the written word, the symbol, and the sign. Okay, our next app is Issie Dice. And for this one, we will have a blog post to link to for you. And Issie Dice is a fully customizable dice app with accessibility features. And this app was inspired by actually this little guy himself, and by my need or desire to improve his active participation. And then really it's just any children with severe disabilities or people with severe disabilities. It was inspired by the desire to help them be actively participate in playing games. Because for children or other people with such severe disabilities, often their interaction in games is very passive. They may be active cognitively and be able to tell people what it is they want to do, but physically they aren't able to participate on their own. And it was really important for me that he could do that, something in the play that he could actually do on his own. And I went and I right away searched for dice apps on the App Store, and I found some, but they weren't good enough for people with his type of disabilities. So, you know, with regular dice, this is what's originally available. There are dice rollers that you can find, and you can even have switch accessible dice rollers or large dice. There are all kinds of adaptations that you can find, but then they're not customizable. It may make it more accessible, but I have to use the dice that I have. But then what if the game requires me to have different kind of dice? Or what if I have a game that I lose the dice? Or I just want to make some kind of dice that have completely something different. So that's where Issie Dice came from. And you can really create dice with whatever you like, from pictures from the gallery on your device. So on the screen, we just have a few examples. The one on the left is numbers and actions, so you can create a fun game like that. The one on the far right is dice of letters, to be really great for language lessons or activities. It's really fantastic for creating all kinds of randomizers for activities and things like that. So this is what the settings screen looks like, and there are some accessibility features. So first of all, when on the screen where you touch the dice, you can touch anywhere. There's no little button that says roll dice that you have to touch. Any touch on the screen will make the dice roll. You have a range of sizes of dice. We can neutralize the screen so that they don't roll again, and we can change the background color. And the dice, there's just so many ways to use them. In the picture on the left, there are two students, each with their own iPad with a die on them that has numbers. And we were playing war. So, you know, for some kids, playing war with cards is kind of difficult because it's hard to manipulate the cards. So I adapted it and we played with dice instead. So there are all many different ideas that can come up when you think about it, of how to use this app. And this is a photo of a little girl using it in very much a way a dice should be used. So this is a girl with very severe physical disabilities. She uses eye gaze. So in the top right corner is her eye gaze computer with a board of numbers on it. And on the floor in the background is a big board game that we created for the kids to play. And she can completely roll the dice and have her turn on her own with just us to help her move the piece. So she rolls the die, and then on her board, she tells us what number came out. So this is active participation that without these tools, she would not be able to have. I also kind of love to do a bit of an app smash up, and I use Issie Dice together with Issie Board. And this is Aviv, who you saw writing her name before, and she loves to, we create the dice together. And we sort of made like a typing activity. So she sits there and it's really motivating for her. Typing is hard for her, but if she's able to create the dice with me, it's super motivating. And through that process, she's practiced those words so many times, even before she gets to the typing game. What's also great is when you do these kind of things with these students, you're really working on their digital literacy. She knows how to put pictures into an app. She knows how to move between apps. She knows how to do recognize, interface buttons on an app that are pretty much a language across apps that are common. And it's really important for our students to have these skills. So I'm just going to show you a video so you can quickly see how the settings work. You can click on the screen. This is how the app opens. You touch the screen and the dice roll. And then you can, to go into the settings, you touch the cog wheel and hold it for 3 seconds, and then the setting screen opens. You have the option to have up to 3 dice, and you can toggle them on or off with the buttons. To change the dice that you have, you touch the die itself, and then this screen opens. You can choose from one of 4 templates. Or if you want to create your own, you touch the plus button, and then the edit screen opens, and you can choose pictures from the album or from the camera and make your own die. You go back or choose whatever die you want. Now we chose the dots. I've closed the yellow die. On this row, you choose the size of the dice that you want. And this is the recovery time. I'm just going to explain that for a second. Recovery time allows me to neutralize the screen. And that's important because, like we said, the dice roll wherever you touch the screen. So sometimes when the dice stop rolling, we want to take a second and look at them. We want to show all the kids, or it's important for us to see and talk about what's on there. And if it kept rolling, then we would lose that. So you can choose the recovery time up to 20 seconds. And then you can also choose the background color. And once you're done, oh, here we're going to choose yellow, I think, this time. And then you press done, and then you press done again, and there you are. Yellow background with the dice with dots. It's very simple, but very, very useful. Okay, moving on. Now we have an app called IssieCalc. IssieCalc, and this one also has a post that you'll get a link to at the end of the webinar. IssieCalc is a calculator with customizable visual features, and it's very similar to IssieBoard in that sense. And again, if you recognize, this is using our friends, the developers from SAP. And we can customize the visual features, much like the colors of the keys. We can decide which keys we want visible, and we can also record and have auditory feedback. We can record on the numbers. So you can, in this calculator on the right, the pink one, we only have numbers 0 to 5, and we only have the plus and minus operations, whatever is useful for the students at that time. And IssieCalc came out of a need in the classroom, and we had a classroom and a teacher who was teaching her students to use money, and they had a weekly kiosk that they sold things to staff at Beit Issie, and she was really looking for something that could help them simply add small numbers and also figure out how much money they needed to give as change. And all the calculators that she found weren't good enough for the students. These are students with, moderate intellectual disability. They needed something that could be more adapted to their needs. And the things that she found, a regular calculator or even the calculator on an iPhone, and there are even apps out there that existed, but none of them were good enough. And so we already had IssieBoard, and we thought, okay, well, perfect. We're going to create something very similar. And we use it in our classroom on a regular basis, and it can be used in many different ways. So in the picture on the left, there's a student who's working out a math problem. On the iPad on the left, her teacher has presented her with a problem, and she's working it out. And in her own iPad in front of her, she started to write the equation. But she's learned, because she knows how to use the app, that she doesn't press the equal button yet. She waits, she's figuring out the math problem, and then when she's done, she presses the equal sign to check her work. So it's a really wonderful tool for that, to learn how to check their work, and because she hears the numbers when they're recorded, it's a really great feedback for her. But in the picture on the right, it's a completely different use. This is a girl who actually doesn't recognize numbers. She can match numbers, but she can't recognize numbers. So you might say why she needs to learn this type of skill, but that's exactly where the need came from in the first place. Because she can match numbers, she can learn to write an equation on her calculator. And then once she knows how to do that, she can take that skill to a store, and she can figure out how much money she owes, or figure out how much change the shopkeeper should give her back. It's very, very important skill. So here, I'm just going to quickly show you how the app works. Again, it's like Issie Board. You click on the settings screen and it will take you into, to hold it for a few seconds. And then the settings look very similar. At first, you can change the basic colors, or you can change the colors of specific buttons. Let's check out the colors. So we can pick a basic background color and pick a color for the specific buttons, and then we can pick the text. We'll pick black, and then we show preview, which is a really useful feature on those apps, and then you can see what it will look like. I'm going to reset that. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to choose visible buttons. So you click on choose visible buttons at the bottom, and they're, by default, they're all there. So you have to deselect the ones you don't want. And at the top, you have an option for them to be invisible or transparent. So this is what invisible looks like. Where you don't see anything. But we can go back to that and choose instead transparent, and we go back, and then you can see there's just a little bit of a transparency there, which is a really nice way to grade the calculator. Now, the reason we want to hide keys at all is because sometimes it's too hard for them to manage all the keys. So the transparency is a nice way to grade that. And this is you click change sounds when you want to record. It's very simple interface. Just record your number, which is fantastic also because it's appropriate for any language. You can record it in whatever language you want. It can be recorded in the child's own voice. And it also has templates. My Calculators is the templates for IssieCalc. And you can choose from the predefined calculators, or again, if you want to make your own, you can make your own. And now we're moving on to IssieDocs. IssieDocs is a worksheet editor and a digital binder. So it is an app that currently is available in English and Arabic. Again, in Hebrew and in Arabic, excuse me. It's available in Hebrew and Arabic, and we'd love for it to come out in English as well, but that hasn't happened just yet. And it is a worksheet editor, so you can type on a worksheet or make marks, draw on a worksheet. And once you've done the work, they can be organized into folders that you can customize with icons or colors, and everything is icon based. So you can upload worksheets from photos in the gallery or from a PDF through email. And if you look back at the photos, all of these icons and the way that we've thought about the design and conceptualized the design was to make it more inclusive and with to be accessible to more users. So some of the worksheet editors that are out there require the student, there's not a lot of icons, and we wanted our students to be able to manage these kinds of apps on their own with as little assistance as possible. So that was where our thinking went. And there are some really nice customizable features. You can change the type of button and the colors and icons and things like that. So this is what the two different features look like. On the right, this is a typing page. And this navigation button, so once you tap on your screen, that's when you start typing, and you have this navigation button which you drag around to be able to move your word to wherever you want it. And this is the drawing page. And this symbol in the middle tells you what you're doing. So it gives, there are some really nice features here that remind you what setting you're in. So here I'm in the drawing setting and I'm using the color green. On the right, I'm in the typing setting and my color is black. So we use Issie Docs in the classroom. Our students are very well, really know how to use it actually. It was so nice to see that the features that we hoped would help them be independent with it actually work. And they know where to go to add in a new worksheet and to manage the typing and the drawing features on their own. And another app that we've created, now this is an app that we've done with a company called Hilma, which is a social activist company. They provide solutions, technological solutions for social objectives. So they helped us develop this app, and it's basically an accessible dreidel. It's just a really fun app. But a dreidel is a spinning top that we use for the holiday of Hanukkah. And, you know, those spinning tops require a lot of fine motor accuracy and coordination. It's very hard to do. So we kind of built on the concept of Issie Dice to create an accessible dreidel. And it has customizable features as well. And it allows our students to spin the dreidel by themselves. And it really provided that option for them. The kids really love using it. We teach them, and this way we can actually teach them to play a culturally relevant game that they play at home with their family. And in class, we even create like the AAC supports or the communication supports for them to learn how to play the game. So here on the picture on the left, is the communication board, and it has the colors that they can choose and the letters that show up on the dreidel and different words that they might want to say during that game. And our final app that should be coming soon is called Songo. It hasn't been released yet. Is an app to encourage mobility and bike riding. And basically, it's on a mobile device, on a phone, and the phone is attached to the mobile device, a walker or a wheelchair or a bicycle. And every time the student or the user moves, the music plays. But as soon as they stop moving, the music stops. It's fantastic. It's getting great reviews for all of our students that are using it, and it's really helping them learn to ride a bike. So it will be a really useful app once that comes out, and we hope that will come out soon. So that's it for our apps. And in summary, we really learned that, and it's important to know that if you encounter a need in your work or something that you're doing, you're probably not the only one. So take that and think big and create a solution for it, because most likely other people are going to need it as well. And it's important to develop new apps because, as Noah said in the beginning, that's the mainstream. Those are the things that people use on a daily basis from their mobile devices. So it's important to keep developing new apps to help people actively participate in their environment, and of course to even work on existing ones and adapt those for more users. And collaboration between therapists and developers is crucial. They can develop all kinds of things, but they need our help to understand what those needs are. And our IssieApps are free, and they're designed with inclusive design accessibility principles. So we hope that you use them and you enjoy them, and we always love to hear feedback, so write us. You can write us in the App Store or on our blog. We'd love to hear any questions or needs that you have.